Alright guys, it's trades time, and then I'm going to go through a couple of more of your teams at the end of this video. We've got the three teams, 5 trades or 3 trades is going to be the call this week, depending on, I might need a little bit of help in my team as to what I'm going to do, but I think I've got my answer, but I just want to throw it out there as a potential. Anyway, People Squad, we made 2 trades, so I posed the question of potentially just doing 1 trade, but I think we do have enough in the bank that we could plug the 2 in, leave us some cash in the bank for next week. The trade I wanted to make, I personally suggested that it was the third option. It was very close. So it was the first option here, which is 1 trade. Kurt Mann to Papali'i left us with, I believe, about 40k in the bank. And then, the guys offered up the second trade as well, the Critter down to Blake Taaffe. So that's the one that the team has selected. So we're going to plug that in. Leave us some cash for next week to get potentially another gun that, the Cam McInnes's, the Crichtons, the Taumalolos, potentially around that 600-ish to, sorry, what, bit under 600? Yeah, in McInnes's case, up to about that 660 with Taumalolo. So potentially they could be some options for these mid-rangers next week. We'll wait and see. But the team looks really solid, except for a couple issues on the emergencies with Walters and Davi Mwale. It's slightly unfortunate, but is what it is with those guys. The third option was the Billy Walters to Taaffe and leaving Crichton in the team. So the guys decided with this one, we'll loop someone for Vailea, potentially Taaffe, or we could loop maybe like a Taylor May, for example, in that center position. We could chuck him up there, for example, loop him, considering Vailea plays the last game of the round, and we can muck around with that. But team's good now. So you've got Papali'i in. You got Starling, Grant, Randall, Schneider on there. So great interchange options. Maxi King has to be vice captain, doesn't he? The people wanted it last week. The people wanted him as captain last week. So vice, he gets that just for the fun of it. So really, really strong mids. I'm happy with the edges at the moment. If they can both score around the 40 mark, we'll be really good. Dylan Brown up for a big week this week, hopefully. Cleary is captain. Aiken, Tungo, Hines, May, Pap. And hopefully Taaffe will make some cash. We got Ilias hopefully to get a bounce back game. And Davi Mwale to actually play. So that's the squad here. 193 in the bank, ranked 132. Hopefully another great week and we can get in the top 100 this week. That'll be really exciting. In terms of head-to-head squad, 1 trade this week and just brought Papali'i in for Kurt Mann as well. So it just seems like with both these guys had 260 plus, 260 and 280, I believe the 2 teams had. You were able to go straight from Kurt Mann to Papali'i. So a pretty fair trade. We're going to gain about 10 to 15 points in that per week. Papali'i is going to be a great gun that covers the mid and the edge position for us, which will be awesome. And then heading into Origin, he's going to be a must-have. So may as well plug him in now, get that 60 average on a week-to-week basis and not have to worry about, the ups and downs of, Kurt Mann, a couple of high 30s, for example, then the random 50, back and forth like that. So that trade's been made. Haas back as captain. Cook was great, serviceable last week, but, Haas has got the best average in this squad. In terms of the rest of the guys there, we have a few options here. Obviously, we can loop this week, which will be good. So, unfortunately, the cooler option makes it a little bit tough with them playing the first game of the round. So, we'll have to have a little play around with that as to what we could potentially do if we, pop him in the centers there, for example, and we can put one of our centers on the number 5 jersey and, work that out as to which one we want to move around and put in our earlier in our interchange, for example, than the other, because we would get that point score. So maybe we put one of the centers in like the 6th position and then see how they go and then plug the other one in afterwards. But we'll have a bit of a chat about that. And if you love talking loops, jump in the comments there and let me know what you do with this head-to-head squad in terms of that loop, because we can do that even if Kula plays in the first game. There's no point putting him in the 4th position, but you can put him in the centers because we have a lot of cover there. Whether it's going to be Aiken, Tungo, we have there on the interchange. We can we can interchange them. Aiken plays the last game of the round, so we can work that out as a little bit of a loop. Might not help us too much, but definitely at least gives us something. If one of them goes poorly or gets injured, then we can bring in Hetherington, for example, who we probably be able to plug and play for a 30 odd there. So if that's too over your head, have a look at a couple of looping videos I've done and you'll understand that a little bit better. But just know how the auto emergencies work, that if someone's in your starting team is center, for example, and they don't play, then from that point what you do is you get your first emergency center off the interchange or emergencies here, and they go straight in, and then the next person will plug up into the interchange slot there. Anyway, that's the squad. We're holding Burton, we're holding Hunt. Could have gone down with one of the boys, whether it be Walters could have gone down, for example, Heathering could have gone down to a Taff and then gone Hunt up to Cleary, but I think we're going to give Hunt another crack. I think that he just had a few down games and he's going to improve from there. We've got Cotter in this team, so if he can average around 50, that would be great. And yeah, so to bounce back from Burton would be great, and to have a pretty solid bench like we do with Papali'i now in the squad, Cook up top. I think the team's going to do well, and 25 trades remaining after this, 27k in the bank. We're looking pretty solid. Okay, the interesting one here. Do I make any trades in my team at all? I was thinking of holding off personally, so this is the 2 trades that I could potentially make. It'll be Jeremiah and I. So I do have, if you look at the squad, which we'll talk about in a second, once I cancel these. Crichton and Nanai, obviously mid-range guys. I have a few of them, but obviously the Aikens, we've got Taylor May, we've got Isaac Tungo, we have Hetherington, Tuolangi, we have Panasini. So there's a bunch of mid-range guys that are all making money, which is great, yeah? I'm really happy with that. My team value, for example, sitting around that, pretty much just under that 12 million mark, which is pretty solid when the top guys are at 12.4 and I'm ranked 1,500. Yeah, a lot of mid-range guys, which is, it's a good for money-making potential. But definitely, eventually have to start trading a few of them out. And this week could be that week. You bring in Taff, who's probably going to make about 100k, frees up some cash for me to go up. Nanai to Taumalolo or Crichton to Taumalolo, doesn't matter. That's an option there. Angus Crichton was the other option at 40k cheaper. So let me know what your thoughts are, if I should do this, or we just go back into the normal team and see what we got here. If we were just to hold, for example, this is what the squad would look like. I'd be playing Crichton. So if I made the trades, I'd be playing Taff, right? Something to think about. And I suppose, actually, I wouldn't have to exactly, would I? No, I could move Taylor May down into fullbacks anyway if I wanted to. Aitken down to centres and play Tuolangi in the starting side, so that would be fine. And that's probably something that I'll potentially do, to be fair. I'd probably like to play, even if I hold this position now, I could go May down, Aitken down as well, and then play Nanai or Hetherington, I think, over Crichton. Just don't think, he's got, even if he scores a try, he's probably got potential to hit about a 40 mark against the Raiders, so up to us on that one. But if we made those trades, obviously got Taumalolo's probably another 15 extra points, let's say, then what like Hetherington or Nanai could get, 15 to 20, which is cool. But there's another 2 trades, and that will leave me with 23, heading into, some of the really important rounds coming up, rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, setting yourself up for round 13, for example. Would that be a push? Yes, I feel like holding trades this week. Yes, I might cop the 15 or 20 points loss, but I think the extra trade is probably worth more than that this week. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Yes, Taff could make some money as well, but I think it might be worth just holding and moving things around and playing Tuolangi in there, and then taking Crichton out and playing Hetherington and Nanai. Let me know your thoughts on that. Maxi King's in there, Kurt Mann still, so hoping for a big week from him would be really nice. Cleary's captain's great as always, and hoping for another big week from Dylan Brown would be ideal, and really just continue to plug back some ranks here at 1565. We've been doing well over the last bunch of weeks, and hopefully we can continue doing that. But that's the goal and theory with that one. Let's jump into a few more teams, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're growing nicely. I really appreciate all of you. Let's go through a few teams to finish off this video. So we have Tigers for the win here. Is 26 trades fine, or do I start holding? Yeah, I think, maybe 1 this week would leave you 25, 24. Anything lower than that, I think, is a bit too low. Anyway, I can get Cleary's to break up the team by trading Mann and Teddy. I wouldn't do that. Just don't break up the team to get him. Walters a trade out. Yeah, but for who? What's to do with Teddy? Hold. Don't cash out Critter. I think he'll be fine. Walker's performing good. Yeah, he's been a lot better the last few weeks, so you can probably hold him. If you had a rough week, I think you should be moving on from Finucane. I think he's not a keeper. He's someone to move on from. And there's a few good guys. If you've got a little bit of extra cash in the bank, you can go to McInnes, you can go to Angus Crichton. Just be aware that you've got 3 guys here that aren't making money on the bench, and also Fletcher Baker with a 33. Leo Thompson, who's kind of maxed out as well. Yeah, Moses was a little bit annoying. I'd be captaining Harry Grant for feeder, those types of guys over Moses, but up to you. Centers are good. Crichton is not a liability anyway. You've got a lot more issues, but I'd be going. I'd downgrade probably Finucane if you can start. Brodie Jones in the edge. What else you got? Mids. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit of an issue, actually. Do you downgrade? Do you upgrade him? Maybe to like a Cotter or an Angus Crichton who would cover edge and mid, and downgrade Crichton maybe. If you have some cash in the bank, I'd go Finucane up and go maybe Baker or Schiller to Taff, for example. They're probably your options this week, mate. I think would be best. All right, next one. Freaky Miles, trade out Teague and Critter. It's Davey trade. I think we've done this one actually. Well done. Next, Parabeast. I'm going to get Cleary this week. Will I trade out Critter? Who should be able to play that I should get out to get a cheap? I don't really like the cheapies, man. So just don't pull apart your team. You got DC already. Do you need Cleary as well? I'm not exactly sure. Schneider's doing a great job. Kurt Mann's in there doing a job. I think maybe next week you could look to trade out the guys like King for Moore, Mann, those types of guys. I personally think you should hold on to Ted, for example. Yeah, you can trade out any of those guys that you mentioned, but just beware that the cheapies aren't that great that you're going to bring them in for. Done that team, I think, didn't we, as well? 246. Yeah, we did. Rabbit Bro, how much is left in Starling? So there's still a decent amount left in him. He's got another 100k to make if he continues averaging 50, which is good. Getting IPAP in a few weeks once Randall peaks, that's okay as well. Tulangia Cooler, better to downgrade into Nyes. Man peaking, yeah, they're all okay. Save Bully for new Walsh / Walker of last year. Yeah, okay. Just use him as a trade out to a 220 gun, or like a good cheapie if one comes up. Like if a Break Blaley gets injured, there's going to be Beryl. If you're not sure how to get Cleary, just wait. Personally, you could straight swap Aiken for Cleary. That's interesting. I personally think you could get Taff if you want. Oh, you already have Taff. Maybe you can do that trade if you want to. You could downgrade the King and upgrade Nanai, for example, if you want to do that. But again, the cheapy options aren't great at the moment. So that's that. Spoke about that team, actually. I don't know why we've had so many extras now. Go the Warriors. I have 3 hookers all making good money. Is there any point in trading one out? No, don't worry about it. In the coming weeks, I think I'll end up trading King, Crichton, Nanai, Walters. I think as money making will stop or slow down. Thankfully, I have a fair few trades left, so that's okay. Ultimate goal this week or next is to get Cleary in, but I don't know if it's possible this week. And if so, who do I trade? Again, if you're not really sure who to trade out, that means you probably should hold them. If it is possible, what trades do I make this week to get him next? Yeah, just the guys, the guys I spoke about, King, Nanai, they're all guys that have potentially peaked. And if you want to free up a little bit of cash, go to Taff. Also, when you get another guns in the forwards, they won't be playing Origin in the coming weeks. So Isaiah Papali'i is your man for that one. Josh Jackson, potential options. Cam McInnes eventually. Cleary's a priority, but just remember you got 48 or 44, 58, and then the 93. You could go down to a 70, and it's like, oh well, I traded all my 50-point guns to get him in. So just be aware of that, and just be aware that Stags has had a couple of good weeks. He could go back to a 15 or 20 this week. So he is a keeper, but Tungol's only had 2 bad weeks. Everyone said he was the keeper of the week, averaging 52, 53. He's had 2 quieter weeks, and everyone's like, trade him out. So just breathe. All right, average 506 this rank, which is Mumbai Special FC. Hey, Jamie, unsure of what to do with Mann and Burden. Is holding Mann the best option? I think holding both. 25 trades left. I think you just hold. Anyone else in that team to trade out? No. Team's good. Hold on. You'll be right. South. Trades. Nico Hines for Haas. Nope. Clune for Momasia / Jamari Martin. Don't like any of them. Just go Clune to Blake Taff, man. That'd be better. You got some funky teams here. I like it. Edwards, Walsh. I like the Walsh one. I haven't seen Walsh yet. Brown's been playing decent apart from last week. When should you trade out Nanai? You could trade him out this week if you want, and you could get... What could you get? Almost 200k. You can get like Crichton, you can get Tamalolo, you can get a few of those if you want to straight swap him. Momasia isn't going to be in my team. I'm going to get Martin instead, but they haven't put him on. You can get Martin if you want, but it's extra 80k for someone I don't think is going to score well. I just keep Momasia for looping. Why would you trade out the guys 220 instead of trading out the guys 283? Come on, be better, Sousies. And you've used plenty of trades 222 left there. All right, trade Walters, trade or downgrade. Yeah, we spoke about Walters a fair bit, so just do what I've spoken about there. Should we focus on a centre gun? Now you've got 2 centre guns. They're both 550, 520k. Don't need to move from Schiller. I'll keep you in there for a loop. I think you should try and move from Walters soon. Schiller's fine. You only got the one cheapie that's not doing anything. All right, Black Pasta, thinking of trading Man to Cotter or Crichton. Want to trade Crichton down from down to Taff, then Man up to a gun Curran. Yeah, that's okay, man. That's fine. You said you want to trade Man. I think you trade Man to Cotter or Crichton. Then you said you want to downgrade to get Man to Curran. So which one are you going to go? Any other recommendations? Leo bottoming out. Yeah, but I think Waltz is an issue before Leo Thompson. Rest of it's fine. All right. Spoke about this team, I'm pretty sure as well. Critical. All right, 592 the overall rank. This will be the last one. Finish off, unsure of what to do next. Possibly Cooler to a new cheapie such as Perm. Yeah, but you bring in Cooler, he doesn't go very well. Perm's going to play like 1 or 2 weeks, and you're going to trade Perm out. Yeah, don't be silly. Don't be silly. Also, don't understand why Walters doesn't let Kobe play enough minutes, so you don't know whether to hold him or not. Just hold. Just see what happens. There's no point trading him, in for a couple of weeks and then trade him out. Yeah, it's silly. Trading an IR hold as he's nearing peak value. You can trade or you can hold, but there's no cheapie options that I think are good. Getting Cleary the first round, he was back, and managing to keep Hughes in my team slowed down a bit of cash flow. Yeah, I understand that, but that's okay. It is what it is. He's still ranked well, and you've got a nice team together. Hughes going to be great over the Origin period. Hoping to keep Crichton as there are not many other wing fullbacks and none that are good cover at this stage. Yeah, I wouldn't go for Tamari Martin personally. And, you'd be looking at guys like, got Moreira and Moale. I wouldn't be getting any more cheapies at this point because they could potentially sit on your bench as well and not do well for you. But that's that video, guys. Hope you enjoyed those trade recommendations for your teams, and also, help me out with my squads as well. If you're new to this, subscribe, like the channel. I really appreciate you all for being here, and good luck in this week. We're up to lockout pretty much now, so get excited and enjoy it. See you guys.